Okay, this is for Joanne. I'll call you Joan of Arc. And we're at 1958, the 7th month, the 19th day, at 1800 hours. Back this up just a little bit. It's not supposed to be there. I guess it's easier to go up one, up two. No, and down one. At 1800 hours. And Portsmouth, Virginia. Okay. So we got the time and the place right. So let's click that off. Let's go over here and find out where your sun is. And you are sitting right between Gemini and Cancer. Kind of on a cusp. I would probably say you're more likely to be in Cancer, which is actually, again, in the oldest tradition I found, it's these the names of these stars in Arabic, which truly gave us the first moon magic, because you couldn't see the stars by day, you could only see them at night. But your Uranus is there with you as well, but it's not in the last video, you are not debilitated by the sun. So your Uranus is active. Your Mercury, there's another communication in Leo. Let me see if I can get some of this out of the way. Let's, information. We don't need all that astronomical information for what I'm doing here. So we can see a little bit better what's going on. All right. Your moon is also in Leo. That's a good sign. Your Jupiter is in Virgo. And just like the last video, you have a Mercury in Leo and a Jupiter in Virgo. Jupiter is exalted in Leo. It's his exaltation house. And Mercury is exalted in Virgo. So they're kind of swapping each other's place. And that empowers them. That just helps them out. That just helps strengthen both of those. Saturn over here, and what they're now telling us is Ophiuchus. We've seen this, but they're going to tell you it's in Scorpio, okay? Which is, we just went through that in the last video about, this is really the eagle and its claws, and that serpent should have been brought down, but this is Greco-Roman, because that's what we have to work with. They give us 2,000-year-old calendars and 2,000-year-old astrology charts. And it is a mess to try to figure out, who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? Your Mars is in, I would actually see the crossover between Pisces and Aries here. But this star right here is called the first sign. And your Mars is under the first sign of Aries. And that's very important where your action is concerned, because Mars belongs in Aries. So that's just perfect right there. He's in his own house. So you have a very powerful sense of action. I'm trying to get this where you can see it. It's so blurry. Let's come down here. Let's drag it around. Find out where everybody else is. Okay. Your Venus. Your Venus is sitting over the pillar. It's still going to be called in Taurus. If I get that more clear for you. Why is that so fuzzy? I don't know why I'm fuzzy. Let me see if I can readjust this. Maybe I'm getting light from the... Still not going to come in clear. But it's definitely in Taurus, but over Orion. I mean, don't really go through Orion because it doesn't touch it, but I'm going to call it Orion. And it's right in the middle, really, of what you call the two pillars in the Freemasons temple. They have this circle dot on the altar which we've talked about in the last few videos. And then there's Venus. There's a better view. Venus. Let's move on around and see what else we've got. How come we didn't see your Saturn? Where did I see your Saturn? Let me go around again. Moon. Jupiter. Oh yeah, your Saturn was in Ophiuchus or Scorpio. Because you're not going to get anything that tells you Ophiuchus unless you go to some of the newer astrologers that are pulling down the 13th sign. But I don't recommend that because they don't even know what the hell they're doing right now. None of us do, really. But they're just buying into the new age crap when you do that. That's how I feel about it. Let's go over here and find Neptune. Give it to me. Your Neptune is also in Virgo. Getting a lot of charts that look alike. And you know what? That happens to me when I start doing these charts for you guys. It starts showing up like that. Neptune, which is usually, well, we know who Neptune, Poseidon is, and Virgo is mutable earth. So he's just adding water to this mutable earth with Jupiter there to mold it all into place. So I would, and that's another one that we actually have Jupiter in Virgo right now as we speak. So you should be able to activate that from straight out of your natal chart right now. And let's find out where your Pluto is. Yeah, that's what I thought. Leo, your subconscious is actually your strength. And your moon is with it. Your moon is your conscious mind, and Pluto is your subconscious mind. So you should actually be very well balanced when you have Mercury. And these are all going to come up over the ecliptic before the sun, Pluto, and the moon, all in Leo, making a nice little triangle, actually. And backed up by Uranus. So all of these came up over the ecliptic before your sun on the day that you were born. Now, you were born at 6 p.m., which is kind of sunset. So I would say these guys were going down at that time. But regardless, that's quite beautiful to see that. So once again, a lot of power in Leo and a lot of power in Virgo. And these two are in play right now. So everything seems to talk about synchronicities lately, especially with these eclipses going on, and they're lying to us about where they are. Because right now, your moon is exactly where the moon will be in 2 days when the solar eclipse happens. So your moon is going to be very activated the next couple of days. Your subconscious mind and your conscious mind. And of course, there's Mercury right in the mouth of Leo. So there's another powerful voice. You have Mercury in the mouth of the lion, when the last one had, even though Mercury was over here in the foot, it had Mars, the action planet, to back it up. But you got Mars in your own house, where it belongs, in Aries. So once again, all that's going to do is reinforce. It's almost like I'm looking at a very similar chart as far as the power of the planets, but enhanced by different aspects. Virgo, Jupiter, all this Mars, Mercury, Moon, Jupiter going on. But you are, you know, if I had to, I would normally say you were an Aquarian, but as I'm sitting here looking at it, when there sits Pollux, which is over the, you might be a Gemini. It's so on the line, it's hard to call. Let me sit back and look at this for a minute, because it's definitely just right there over Pollux. So even if you are a And I'm gonna, let me move the sun a couple of days here and see. I'm just gonna move the sun out of the way. Let's just move it a month out of the way. Let me take a look at that. Yep, I'm going to call you Gemini. I'm going to call you Gemini. Now we move that out of the way so the sun's not just glaring over it. And I'll call you a Gemini. Let me move it back because it's just shining on that crab there. But I'm going to put you in Gemini under Pollux, which is the male side of the twins. And there's your sun. So now you know who you are, really. And you can go do your homework. Try to stay out of the Western astrologers because they're going to give you information for somebody that was born 2,000 years ago. And that don't help us at all where we are today. I show you guys this so you understand where we're born. You need to know where you're born and the time you were born to even look up and see where your planets are. And they're trying to shove us in these old calendars. It's Rome did all this. This is who gives us to this. All roads lead to Rome. And when I give you this information, you are no longer have to go to Rome. I'm freeing you from Rome is what I'm doing. That's how I look at it. So you don't have to go to Rome. Your road can go anywhere you want it to because you're a Gemini. And you're not in the middle of Gemini, so you're not double-minded. You're on the masculine side of Gemini, so I would say you have a pretty sure perception of when you make up your mind to do something, that's what you do. And with these three over here, Mercury, the Moon, and Pluto in Leo, you miss the game changer generation, but that's okay because it's a great thing to be, but it's also a heavy burden, especially for our future. So you get to bypass all that crap. And you have already done your Saturn return. 1, 2, 16. You're on about your third trip around coming this Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. You were born right about a couple of years before a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction that happened when we had the Kennedy assassination, the British invasion of music into America, and that set up a 20-year pattern. And you repeat that cycle every 20 years. So when Jupiter came around and Saturn came around the next time, it hits you right before it comes. So you will hit your third expansion on this ride come 2018. 2 years before the next time it happens. All right? You're going to repeat. You'll see similar patterns starting to repeat. Just like I'm seeing the patterns now of all this repetition of, it's just crazy how when I stop doing what I'm doing and just for my new subs and show you guys who you are so that we can all be on the same page now, drag you out of the past from 2,000 years ago, put you on today's page, and that way, if you know where you are now, you have a hell of a lot better chance to find out where you're going to go in the future. But there's no way, I don't even know how we people lasted this long on these 2,000-year-old calendars and zodiacs. And it just drives me batty. But I love where your moon is. Your moon rose in the night before your sun sets. And yeah, that's cool. But you got the mouth of a lion. Go roar at him, girl. This is the king. The king pulls the sword from the stone. He does it with his words. He does it with Mercury. Mercury, mouth. Sword in the stone. You can do that too. That's what that is. So go roar at him. And go be your dominant Gemini side.